promised yourself you'd reach. Put an end to a long climb.
The Wolverines retake the lead.
Take the next steps to the ultimate reality.
Everything that kills me makes me feel alive.
They have been guided by the light of dreams. They play to give them shape and come away a winner.
Who's got a better than us?
We'll be counting stars.
On a flawless night in South Florida, the final football game of 2021, a tremendous matchup. The College Football Playoff semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl is something rare and special. The third ever meeting between the Michigan Wolverines, champions of the Big Ten, seeded number 2, and the Georgia Bulldogs, seeded number 3.
There's a swag for this group, Kirk. You can feel the vibe is very positive.
As good a leadership and as strong of intangibles as any team that we've seen play in a long time, led by 97-12, Josh Ross on this defense.
Hutchinson and the Wolverines checking this out. Their first CFP appearance. Very few on the Georgia side played a role in their last playoff run for the championship game. Taking it all in. What a journey. Nobody outside of that team gave them a chance to be here.
Including their own fans. They believed.
100-1 shots preseason. But Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines charge out, filled with confidence as 7-point underdogs. And the Bulldogs take the field for Kirby Smart, his 6th playoff game as a coach, assistant, or head coach. Crowd pretty evenly split here tonight. Maybe a slight edge for Georgia, but it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell.
Todd Monken, who calls the plays. He and Kirby Smart fiercely defending Stetson Bennett, who threw for a lot of yards but made a lot of mistakes in that loss to Alabama. 40 degrees and cloudy in Ann Arbor, 35 degrees warmer here in South Florida. Here we go, the anticipated collision between the Wolverines and the Bulldogs, with the Crimson Tide awaiting the winner. Jake Moody, excellent kicker, typically allows no returns. Kenny McIntosh is deep for the Dogs just in case. It's a high kick, and that's McIntosh stepping up at the 6. And good coverage as the Wolverines knock him down near the 20-yard line. Here comes Stetson Bennett. Well-traveled, many of you know his story. Came as a walk-on, then went to junior college, Mississippi, comes back, wins the starting job, but hasn't escaped criticism ever how well he's played.
No, and what you just said is not your normal story for a quarterback. Went as a walk-on, left, got offered a scholarship to leave that junior college, and as you said, with JT Daniels and other quarterbacks, he's always been questioned from his own fan base, and even coming off of that SEC championship game. Continues to block out the noise and lead this team on this side of the ball.
Zamir White, they call him Zeus. Starts at tailback to the right of Bennett, and he's got the football, and he's got a positive first down play, banging for about 9. 2nd and 1, they take a risk here. Looking to throw, easy access, and that's A.D. Mitchell, the freshman wide receiver, a first down to the 45.
That's a run-pass option. He saw the soft corner, so instead of handing that ball off, he decides to get the ball out. Fortunate they didn't get called for a man downfield. Schaefer, the left guard, was about 5 yards downfield. That's the risk you take when you have a run-pass option. So give Stetson Bennett credit. He sees the soft corner with DJ Turner back, decides to just pick up the easy first down with a quick pass.
Regular alignment up front. That's a relief for Georgia fans. Cedric Van Pran missed the last significant practice here with a fever, but he's okay. And this is the regular 5 that they practice with for 14 practices. Bennett under pressure, delivers downfield. It's Brock Bowers who goes high to make the catch, and the Dogs are threatening in the red zone.
Now this is the challenge with these 2 tight ends off to your left. Darnell Washington gets vertical, and he holds the safety. Little wheel route with the other tight end, Bowers, and because this is the corner, actually, DJ Turner had to respect that. You've got a linebacker running downfield with the fleet-footed tight end, Brock Bowers. Tough matchup.
What a beautiful fingertip catch for, by far, the leading receiver on this football team. 4 receivers to the right on 1st and 20. Bennett gets it to Bowers, who's got blockers. He's not just a blazer, he's a bulldozer too. Good to see that Dax Hill is there. He did not come down with the team. Reports it was COVID, but number 30, key safety for the Wolverines, is in there. On 1st and goal, Bennett to Bowers. And Brock Bowers scores, and Georgia draws first blood. And the freshman tight end plays a huge part in that opening possession. 3 catches.
And hesitation from the safety. Eyes in the backfield, looking at the play action fake. Look at the top. Watch the safety bite, hesitate, wait, and by the time he reacts, Hawkins cannot get there. Bowers has, again, the speed of a wide receiver. Nice job of Bennett. All drive, Chris. Ball, every time he threw, the ball is out fast. Not letting Hutchinson and that defensive pressure get to him. That time, just a mental error by Brad Hawkins, not seeing Bowers go out to the flat.
So now Cade McNamara, the junior from Reno, like Bennett, a good athlete, a good scrambler, but a smart guy, and a guy who's found his voice as a leader throughout this season.
You know, the one thing when I watch him play, the first thing I wanted to ask the Michigan guys, does he have baseball in his background? Because of his arm angle, it's not like he's trying to drop his arm angle. It comes very naturally to him, almost like a shortstop flipping it across the infield. And you'll see that tonight if Georgia gets pressure and he gets the ball out. He's very decisive, gets the ball out quick.
Hassan Haskins, the senior from St. Louis, almost 1,300 rushing yards this season, is the tailback, but a misfire for the Wolverines, a false start.
I think the center may have flinched there.
The 68 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Don't expect that from Andrew Bastardas, the 6th-year senior, the man they call Gramps.
Yeah.
Been there forever.
Yeah, and he's the leader. Watch 68 in the middle. He just kind of flinches right there, and that's enough for the umpire to feel that and make the call, get behind the sticks. So important for Michigan's offense. When you watch them against Ohio State and Iowa, their bigger games, they stayed on schedule, which is so big for any offense, but especially the way this offense for Josh Gaddis operates.
Jordan Davis, Outland Trophy winner, who weighs about 360, right across from Bastardas, and now McNamara escapes pressure. Very effective scrambler straight up the field and dives for a first down to the 38.
Watch him recognize the linebackers that get into man-to-man. They do not fear or respect McNamara as a run threat, so they're going to clear out. They're more concerned about him throwing the ball. He has not shown much of this all year. To his credit, he's prepped. He knows how much man-to-man they play. Ready to roll on his first pass, and he pulls it down and gets a first down.
18-yard gain. And it's a flea flicker. McNamara dumps it down, and the catch is made by Haskins. So the first flea flicker of the game, the first gadget play, a short gain.
Well, Kirby Smart, I talked to him again today just for some final details. Watch 16 in the middle. That's who they're hoping bites up. That's seen, but instead he stays back. So what does McNamara do instead of just throwing it away? He's been doing this all year. Check it down, man. No problem. Instead of throwing it down, it's 2nd and 10. He checks it down. It's 2nd and 5.
Donovan Edwards, part of that tailback stable, runs right over Scene. First down, Wolverines near midfield.
This is Michigan football right here. Get you worried about the pass. Look at the left side of that offensive line. Keegan, Hayes, they collapse that Georgia edge and open that up for Edwards.
Tactical tempo tonight. Edwards in the backfield makes the catch and ducks under the tackle of Nakobe Dean. They want to wear out those big Georgia bodies, don't they?
Yeah, you know, if you're not familiar with watching Michigan, Hassan Haskins gets most of the attention. Blake Corum had an ankle against Northwestern and missed about 4 games, came back late, but he was kind of 80%. Meanwhile, young Donovan Edwards has become a fixture and a dynamic wrinkle in this offense. 7, keep an eye on him. You're getting a little taste of him early in this game.
5-star recruit in West Bloomfield, Michigan. Haskins, we call him 2H, with a gain down to the 41.
Can't wait to watch Nakobe Dean tonight, the leader of this defense, number 17. Much like Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Ross, he is not just a guy that makes plays. Young man that graduated in 3 years in Athens, mechanical engineering with a 3.5. You want to talk about an impressive guy? sit down and talk to Kobe Dean. This guy is not just a great football player, he's a great leader, doing it on and off the field for Georgia.
No doubt. Corum, one of those backs you mentioned in the game, split wide to the left here. 3 receivers bunched to the right. McNamara has time off the hands of Luke Schoonmaker, one of the Michigan tight ends. It was tipped at the line.
Yeah, Nolan Smith got his hand on it. They twist a lot, try to affect the communication, but Michigan does a good job of giving him time. Watch for Nolan Smith. He can't get there, but he does get that left hand up. And if he doesn't, that's a first down.
Offense on the field, Kirk, on 4th and 4 from the Dogs 41. So Harbaugh trying to answer Georgia's early touchdown. Taking a risk here.
Going empty. Ball's got to be out fast.
Dogs bring some pressure. McNamara gets it out. It's incomplete. Hurried just enough that Eric couldn't collect it. And the Wolverines turn it over on downs. And Smart with a big running chest bump of his guys on the far side.
Yeah, just a little bit late with Cade McNamara. Watch the route with all balls out. Now he's got a chance. Just one more hitch, I think, got him off of his balance and his rhythm. Ball's too far where All just doesn't have a chance to make a play for that first down.
Dogs take over, up 7.
Ball playoff semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. Lincoln. This winter, wish for the unexpected. And Taco Bell.
So it's the first meeting in the color TV era. The 2 meetings in 57 and 65 in the Big House. Split by these 2 teams. Vince Dooley, the winner, got carried off in the Big House. Coach is 89 years old. Turned that age when Georgia beat Clemson in the opener. And of course, Jim Harbaugh's coach, Bo Schembechler.
Great to see Lloyd Carr on the field. Haven't seen him in a couple years. You and I both had a chance to shake his hand and say hello. I know he is incredibly proud and fired up to have his Wolverines here in this game. Remember that first drive, Georgia went right down the field. They attacked the edge of this Michigan defense, especially the corners. How do they respond here?
It was White in the opening series. Now James Cook, Miami native, is in the backfield. They flip it off to Ladd McConkey, who gets around the edge and weaves for a nice gain on first down before Hawkins drove him out. Last second adjustments as the play clock winds down. And they give it to Cook, who makes the cut. In the clear. James Cook inside the 30. Finishing up his career in the same building as his big brother Dalvin did against the Wolverines in the Orange Bowl.
Watch Erickson come down and then climb, which is so important against this defense and what they can do because they want to get downhill. 50 there does a nice job getting his hat just enough on Ross. Also saw McClendon able to seal that.
21-yard gain. Bennett looked that way, now does feed it to Cook, who is wide open. He accelerates and is knocked down after a 7-yard gain. He's inspired tonight, being back in his hometown, playing here for the first time.
Yeah, he watched his older brother Dalvin play in this bowl game against Michigan when he was at Florida State. Incredibly fired up, incredibly talented younger brother. James is a great runner, but he also can get out, catch the ball. He's almost like a receiver when they decide to motion him out.
Cook out of the game now. White back in here on 3rd and 1. He takes the pitch. And the Wolverines stop him, but not before he's got a first down back in the red zone.
They went with a kind of a sugar huddle, a quick huddle there to try to get Michigan out of position, and it actually worked. They outnumbered them. Michigan did not really, you see Hawkins there pointing. They don't have enough bodies out there because of that quick huddle. Pretty easy for White to pick up the first down. Right now we're seeing quick passes out to the perimeter and the edge from Bennett. Easy throws to try to get their athletes in space. And then we're seeing a power run in between. It's just kind of a mix and match for Todd Monken.
Mix and match is working very well. McIntosh is going to throw it. Lobs to the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Mitchell. Georgia trickery. 2 possessions, 2 scores.
Tell you something, man. The sell by Kenny McIntosh, and you're a defender. Watch Michigan have to respond to him. He looks like he's running the football. Look at the Michigan defense concerned. He looks like that ball is going to be run, and instead, all those blue jerseys, and he's got A.D. Mitchell alone in the end zone. Great play call by Todd Monken.
Freshman from Texas catches his third touchdown. Wolverines had a halfback pass for a touchdown in their conference championship game by Donovan Edwards. It's the Dogs who answer. Michigan in a very unfamiliar position. They have not been a come-from-behind team this season, down 14 in the first quarter. What's your message to Cade McNamara, Kirk, who
Stay
himself in a rare position here?
Well, you got McCarthy into the game right here as a changeup. They've been putting him in all year as a guy who probably is the future of this offense, but really at this stage in 2021 has been the wrinkle or kind of the athletic change of pace quarterback, but they're not often you'll see him go out for one play and come out. And right now he's staying out there.
More often you'll see him in the middle of a series, as you said, but he's got the Wolverines possession here.
Highly touted recruit for Michigan. See the confidence that they have in him, down 14, putting him into the game.
Excellent runner, as you said, but he can also sling it. More arm talent than McNamara. He's handing off inside, but nothing doing. They may not be open for business tonight. Haskins slammed down by Trayvon Walker. McNamara, Kirk, back in here for this 3rd and 5 play and some early urgency, down 2 scores. Corum is the back. Blitz, ball out, catch made, and the first down.
That's a
Jalen Baldwin.
Watch this pressure, Chris, on Cade McNamara. It's 3rd down. I mean, you're down 14. He gets hit by Walker as soon as he throws it. Focus downfield on Baldwin. He's got press coverage. He sells it like he's going downfield, comes out of it, and the timing is perfect that time by Cade McNamara. Great job there on 3rd down. They brought the house.
It's tough when you're a quarterback, having played 1st or 2nd down, come in, face that heavy pressure, but he executed. Take it to Haskins. McNamara wanted to take a shot downfield, and he'll get swallowed up by the pass rush. Nobody open. Jalen Carter was there. Robert Beal got him.
Well, that's just great coverage downfield. You'll see, one thing that Michigan wants to do is try to get the tight ends involved. It's good coverage downfield. They do a nice job of using the safeties here to take away the crossing route. So he's got time, but look at that crosser. It's taken away. Great communication on the back end. All he could do is eat it. Usually checks it down, but the check down had to pick up the blitz. There was nobody to check it down to.
42nd sack of the season for the Dogs. They had none against the Tide. And the ball is batted in the air and knocked down. That's Quay Walker. McNamara, not a tall guy, listed at 6'1", and the Dogs have a lot of long, big defenders.
Yeah, and normally he goes around that pressure. Quay Walker at 6'4", a linebacker, untouched, just gets his hands up. And you can see again, he's had a lot of success in the Big Ten with pressure in his face, kind of working around that pressure. But that time, I think Walker got on him too quickly. And by the way, if that ball gets around Walker, there's a lot of yards. But that's the 2nd time a ball batted back down into McNamara's face.
As Corum motions back in 3rd and 16. He's got the football, but he can't escape Nakobe Dean. And the All-American linebacker gets the Dogs defense off the field. What a play.
Well, Nakobe Dean followed him in motion. You see a linebacker walk down, you know that it's man-to-man. Nakobe Dean comes across the entire field. I mean, one sideline to the other.
Wow.
You talk about range from a middle linebacker. Michigan wants that matchup. Blake Corum against a middle linebacker out in space, but not against Nakobe Dean. He's got the skill of a safety.
T. Pickens, who's so talented, but held to just 3 catches this year. It's taken him a long time. The whole practices have helped. Hoping to make a contribution tonight. Had a couple of catches against Alabama.
I was looking at him in warm-ups down the field, and he looked the best he has looked since he's come back from that ACL. And a player that Michigan secondary is well aware of. Got to keep him in front of him.
The difference maker if he's even close to 100%. 2nd and 6. Hutchinson got off the mark early. Free play for Bennett, who lofts it down, and the catch is made by Burton.
Well, you got one
Ruling on
official.
the field as the receiver was out of bounds.
Check if they set him out of bounds. You knew he had a free play. He's aware that Hutchinson tries to get an early jump on the snap count. They're trying to trick him.
Offside, number 97. Defense at the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty.
Part of the game plan.
Second down.
Yeah, of course. Did you see the little smirk by Bennett? The smirk is because of the clap. Instead of going, hut, hut, it's just a clap to try to get him to jump, and it worked. And it got him. They're just trying to, anything they can do to help the offensive tackles to slow him down, and he did a nice job of mixing that in there.
That time it was the second clap, and again, they'll change that up. Well aware of 97's game-wrecking ability. 3 tight ends all to the left. And they get it out in the perimeter. Bowers is swallowed up by Hutchinson. Those are 2 future NFL players colliding.
Yeah, but Chris, watch the reaction by Aiden Hutchinson. He saw what you saw. So instead of coming here, he immediately goes out there thinking that they're going to throw the ball out there. That's what allowed him to make that play. So it's the awareness. I mean, it's a 9 technique, a wide 9 with the awareness to be able to see those 3 tight ends and do a nice job of getting a tackle for a loss.
Dogs dominate the first quarter, 141 yards to 42, and they did it by 2 scores. You're watching the Capital One Orange Bowl on ESPN. Cook is the bat. You fake it to him, and it's a slant, and the catch is made. And that is an impact play by George Pickens. They've got a first down. Good coverage or tight coverage by Turner.
It really was tight coverage, but the length of George Pickens is tough for Turner to get around. He's undersized. He's in phase there, but he's just too big.
Bennett across the middle trying to get it to the giant tight end Darnell Washington, the guy they call Big O. Hawkins hit him, and he is down on the field. An imposing, impressive-looking tight end who went up and housed the Crimson Tide's defense for Georgia's first touchdown there in Atlanta.
Hawkins is kind of the glue guy on the back end, a 3-year starter, a graduate, played a lot of football, does a nice job. They're mixing up their coverage back there. They had 2 safeties, 2 high safety look from Mike McDonald, allowed Hawkins to come over and dislodge that football.
Michigan defense, Kirk, been backpedaling on first down. Dogs have had a lot of success. Solid gains on first down so far. Bring pressure off the edge. Bennett slings it out to Jackson, and another excellent first down play. They got about 7.
Well, that's the risk you take. You got to dial up some pressure. I mean, they end up bringing Hill, but now if they get the ball out, now you got to get off blocks. Now you got to tackle in space.
Nose of the ball in Michigan territory. Less than a yard on third down. And McIntosh avoids traffic in the backfield. Hill wrestles him down, but it is a first down.
Yeah, Josh Ross trying to get downhill on a nice blitz, but he picks the gap, but he ends up going to the left of the center, Van Pran, and good patience that time by McIntosh to pick up that first down. You're right. I mean, it seems like they are, Georgia, very different from the Alabama game. They're playing on their terms. That was a key in this game against this talented Michigan defense. Could they be at 2nd and 4 and 3rd and 2 tonight and have a balanced attack?
So Hawkins back in the game. Bennett play action on first down. Shows his scrambling ability. Escapes and weaves his way for a big gain down to the 26-yard line. Stetson Bennett is shifty in space, isn't he?
Well, yeah. For all the Georgia fans that question the decision by Kirby and Todd Monken of playing Stetson Bennett, this is why he plays. Look at Aiden Hutchinson. He's been chasing down every quarterback he sees, but this time he's able to run away from him, picks up some nice blocks downfield.
He gets the ball to White in the flat. 20-yard gain for the quarterback. That's a start for Bennett.
A 20-yard gain that was going to be a sack. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is coming in from the blind side, and he just felt it. Like he stepped up away from that pressure, and then he took off and used his speed. So instead of a 5-yard loss, 20-yard gain, and you keep the drive moving.
Hutchinson breathing heavy here.
Yeah.
He rarely comes off the field.
Yeah, and don't forget now, not just chasing Stetson Bennett. It's hot, and it's humid out here in Miami.
Different conditions for Michigan. They all commented on that. Practices when they first got here were tough. Bennett has a nice pocket, He had misfired, trying to get the ball to big John Fitzpatrick.
I thought
on the same page.
I thought the left tackle that time moved a little early. Sawyer. I think Jim Harbaugh did too. He shrugged his shoulders. In fact, he's talking to the official right now, and the left tackle moved. I think he's asking him about. I think he got off to a little bit of a head start from the other side at the top. Maybe just a step early, but a no call. But it is 3rd and long. See what Michigan does.
And the average third down yardage needed tonight, 1.5. Big reason why the Dogs are 4 for 4 so far.
They got 6 guys walked up. Are they just showing and dropping, or are they going to bring it?
They bring it, but the ball's out quickly. Bobbled and incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Fitzpatrick again. Couldn't hold on. And here comes the field goal team.
Yeah, and this is part of what they wanted to do, is try to get him the 3rd down and then turn loose not just 97 and 55 off the edge, but try to mix up the looks and cause some confusion. It's actually a pretty good ball. It's going to be short of the 1st down, but goes right through the hands of Fitzpatrick.
Chuck Podlesny was a walk-on, then he kicked a game-winning field goal to beat Cincinnati in the Peach Bowl. Awarded with a scholarship, and he has responded with a very, very strong season. 18 for 22. This from 47, and it will get inside that left upright. So Georgia moves at 49 yards and has scored on all 3 possessions so far.
Got to remember, 12-26 still in the second quarter, 17-0. You continue to stay with all your film study for a month to get ready for Georgia. There's no reason to panic.
My goodness, Jordan Davis showed some quickness for a monstrously huge human being running down Corum.
Yeah, he's 360 pounds, and look how the most impressive thing is how he gets off of blocks. I mean, he uses his hands, pushes through, and then the speed. I'm going to say speed at 360 pounds. They set the edge. They allowed the big fella Davis to chase him down.
His second appearance, and keeps it. Has to make a move on the edge. They're ready for him running. It's a very heavy tendency to run the ball when he comes in, and Nolan Smith got him down.
Yeah, Jalen Carter takes away the run, and then you have Nolan Smith who's saying, okay, I've seen this. I know what happens when 9 comes in. They take away both. 88 takes the run, and then you got Nolan Smith on the outside. Great discipline there by Georgia's defense.
So McNamara back in the game on 2nd and 9.
There's an alert for Georgia when they see 9 go in their quarterback, and they start thinking about quarterback keep off that zone read.
Dogs bring some pressure. McNamara launching downfield, and it's caught by Roman Wilson. A first downfield shot for the Wolverines, and they're in the red zone. Beat Kendrick.
Roman Wilson has become the guy as far as attacking downfield one-on-one with Kendrick, and just goes by him. Does a nice job of setting up the route. Kendrick, I think, surprised by the speed of Wilson, and a heck of a throw by Cade McNamara right on target. And that's what Michigan needed there to get themselves to get going and believe that they can move the ball against this defense.
Almost as many yards on that play, 42, as they had in total offense before the play. And can they get 7 in the red zone? He faked the reverse, and he's swarmed by Dean. It took too long to develop number 17 in the game.
You always have to be aware, especially in the red zone, of Nakobe Dean. It's not just that he's going to blitz, it's the awareness that he blitzes with. Doesn't even think about buying on to that reverse. His job and assignment is to take away the quarterback if he comes off the edge or comes on play action. Nolan Smith's there as well. Michigan has been scouting these blitzing linebackers all month, but that time, Nakobe Dean, great job there on 1st and 10.
Yeah, Ryan Hayes, the tackle, was no match for him. On 2nd and 18, McNamara feels pressure again, escapes, and he'll make a short gain back to the 25, but it'll be 3rd and 15. Carter got him that time.
How about the job Dan Lanning said? You know what? That seems to be working. I like blitzing these backers. Let's blitz them again. Same two. Nolan Smith getting in there, and off to the left. The reason he had to step up is because of Nakobe Dean.
They were second-guessed a lot, weren't they? They didn't blitz much against Bryce Young. He hurt it badly.
couldn't get home all night. When they did, he scrambled and made that secondary pay. Again, the way Alabama got after Georgia was throwing the ball against the secondary.
3rd and 16, play clock at 2. That time only a 3-man rush. It's a quick pass to Eric All, the tight end, but way short of the first down. Scene stopped him. Here comes a field goal attempt.
Show pressure and then get out and then bring it off the left with Tyndall, but it's picked up. He has time, but just a pass just to give him a better chance at a field goal. No chance at picking up the first down.
Jake Moody, the first Lou Groza Award winner from Michigan for the top kicker. 22 of 24 this season. It's from 36 yards to get the Wolverines on the board. Georgia's been a good field goal block team, but Moody gets the ball up very quickly and knocks it through. 57-yard drive, still a 14-point deficit.
Winning that line of scrimmage, they're going to move Cook, who's so talented. Cook to the outside, off to the right. And he's got a linebacker, the freshman Colson, matched up with him.
Bowers is off to the right. Wolverines got a couple of guys eyeballing number 19.
Look at Hutchinson moving inside.
Bennett has protection and launches downfield. And it's caught by Cook. And he's wrestled down at the 15. The Miami native makes a huge play.
Anybody knows when you move Cook out there, if they're going to put a linebacker out there, you're going to take a shot. You got one-on-one here, no safety here. And even though it's 3rd down and short, Stetson Bennett with this lead says, hey, I believe in my guy. If I see a linebacker walked out there one-on-one with that space, I'm going to take it.
53-yard gain. Now Bennett tries to get the ball to Burton. Well covered. Georgia fans can't believe there wasn't a flag.
By the way, let's not let that play get by, the previous play, without respecting Stetson Bennett on 3rd down. He had an open, short route that he could have taken for the first down, but the guts of this kid says, no. I'm going to take the big shot, and he puts it right on the money. Now they're in the red zone.
What a night for Bennett. There's that 53-yarder. That's the longest play that Michigan gave up all year. There's the previous play. No flag on.
Looks like a hold there by Green. He got away with one. And Georgia fans just saw it up on the screen. They're right.
2nd and 10. Play clock winding down. End around to Cook. And they track him down, tackle him behind the line. That's a nice play by Jalen Harrell.
Yeah, Harrell set the edge. Did a nice job of anticipating. That ball's going to bounce. They're trying to get it outside with Cook. See him to the top, to the far left there. Does just enough to slow him down. And then there's the rest of that Michigan defense flying. Josh Ross also. So again, Chris, here's another 3rd down. Now you got McDonald at 6'7", the tight end, down to the left, trying to create a one-on-one matchup. But you see a safety over top there to try to help him out.
Enormously important 3rd and 11. Wolverines cannot afford to allow another touchdown on this possession. Bennett across the middle, and the catch is made underneath by McConkey. Does not have first down yardage. Tackled right away by Dax Hill. And some hesitation, but they send the field goal team out there.
The way this game is going, those are wins for Michigan's defense. You know, that big play to Cook, in the blink of an eye, they're at the 15-yard line with momentum. They catch a break on the no call in 1st and 10, and they bow up here to set up this field goal attempt in the red zone.
Question is, which quarterback could take a risk and make it pay off? And Bennett has done that so far tonight. That 3rd and 3 deep shot. But Lesney from 28. And the Dogs answer the Wolverines field goal and stretch the lead back to 17, 3:50 before halftime. Jesse is a developing quarterback on this Michigan roster. And Wolverines offensive line trying to create room for Haskins, but it's been tough to come by. Scene helping out big Devontae Wyatt. Henning in motion, a backwards pass to him, but heavy traffic, and he just couldn't weave his way past Nakobe Dean, who's having a monster first half.
You know, I talked about the wrinkles that Gaddis likes to go with when they go with that jet motion. Problem is, Georgia did their homework, And anytime they see 3 going in motion, Nakobe Dean, 17, is in a sprint to beat him to the corner, gets off a block, makes the play.
Talked about how smart a student and football player Nakobe Dean is. Tremendous anticipation and athleticism. Rushes the passer. He's excellent in coverage. A do-it-all linebacker. 3rd and 8. McNamara under heavy pressure escapes, but dropped at the line of scrimmage by Nolan Smith. And that offensive line is getting whipped.
They're bringing the backers. Bringing it backer here. Bringing it backer here. Tough. Haskins tries to do a nice job. He kind of chips. But you have 3 blitzing linebackers along with that defensive line just suffocating that pocket, and just nothing Cade McNamara can do.
The legacy is enormous. Almost blocked. Robbins just able to get that away, and Jackson comes up and makes a fair catch.
I'm trying to figure out how it wasn't blocked. I mean, they got in there. He had a couple different players in there. Was it Rosamete Jack Saint, 81? He just kind of pulled up. If he extends himself out, that's blocked.
Sure did pull up.
Yeah, he kind of was like, I don't want to rough the punter, so he kind of pulled up. Then at the last second, he decides to get his right hand up.
If you block it, you can rough him.
Yeah, if he lays out, he blocks that.
They blocked a couple this year, including one for a touchdown against Arkansas.
He's frustrated thinking, dang, I finally came in clean, had a shot, and I pull up.
And that would have been a crushing blow. Wolverines, a block punt right there. As it is, Bennett has 2:14 to work with here to add to this lead before halftime. Look at McIntosh showing the muscle, the leg drive, pushing Wolverines back with the help of big Warren Erickson.
Plays like that do more to give you a confidence and a belief and just fire you up than that big long pass that they had earlier, because they love to see their back not give up. Kenny McIntosh would not let up leg drive. You see the offensive lineman appreciate that after the whistle.
Bennett, hesitation, tries to lob it to Mitchell. Single coverage on the left side. Good coverage by Green.
It's been a really good first half for the Georgia offense.
Bennett, backpedals, scrambles, heaves downfield. It's caught. Jermaine Burton scores. And Stetson Bennett can do no wrong tonight in Miami. What a turnabout from the SEC championship game. A 57-yard strike.
I can't figure out what Vincent Gray was thinking there. You know, he's their most talented defender. He was out there one-on-one with Burton, who's a fleet-footed receiver who's had to deal with a lot of injuries. But he just stopped on the play. He was in phase. He was running with him. I don't know if he lost the ball or what it might have been, but he stopped.
And Georgia builds a 24-point lead with 1:38 to play. And Bennett has been amazing tonight.
So the safety goes to the middle of the field, so it's one-on-one, and there's pressure, but he does a good job of getting off. Watch 4, he just kind of gave up on it. I just can't figure out why. I don't know if he just lost the football or what it might have been. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. And he stops. I don't think he expected the ball to be thrown, or maybe he didn't realize it was in the air and he just kind of let up. And Stetson Bennett, somebody's feeling pretty good when we're at 13.
Quiet determination is how we would describe his demeanor to get back and redeem his performance. He focused on the 4 or 5 bad plays that he made and not all the nice plays that he made. He had a 300-yard passing game against the Crimson Tide, but those 2 picks, he did some soul searching, he said.
I tell you, man,
he has responded.
Guy has been doubted his entire career, and his teammates believe in him. He believes in himself. But it's amazing how, you know, he doesn't allow it to affect him.
1:38. And McNamara creates something here to make this deficit less imposing. 4-man rush, ball is out, and it's intercepted. From bad to worse, Darian Kendrick going backwards to midfield after the pick, but the Dogs with their first takeaway and a chance to add to the lead.
Jim Harbaugh wants pass interference. That's what he's frustrated about. Kendrick pretty physical into the boundary. Look off to your right. Roman Wilson trying to run that route. Kendrick pushing on him. Doesn't even really have a chance to get back into the field of play. To hear what Bill has to say about this. What do you think, Bill?
He's got a hold of him, and he's pushed him out, even made force out of bounds. There's contact there with the ball in the air. We should have had a pass interference call there.
Michigan fans saying, can they review the pass
Ruling
interference?
on the field is an interception. During the return, personal foul, targeting number 29, return team. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. Number 29 has been disqualified.
So the scrappy junior safety, Chris Smith, is out. Relief for him that it happens in the first half and not the second half, which would force him to miss the first half of the championship game, and they appear headed in that direction.
He's one of the leaders, making an aggressive play. I don't think they're done.
White knifes forward. We've had so many first down plays like that, getting 7 yards.
That's what we've seen. I mean, it's you got to give that offensive line a lot of credit. Aiden Hutchinson, instead of having a chance to rush the quarterback a lot, he's been having to deal with taking on polling linemen and running right at him. It's been a very different game for him.
Georgia has just the one timeout. No real urgency so far. Now under a minute to go. And again, they feed White. He's stopped short of the first down. And Smart is going to spend his final time out here. This is a little surprising. The way they've been successful throwing the ball downfield, really completing passes at will. And he did not call a timeout. So a chance to add points not taken so far by Georgia.
Yeah, very surprised. He's jumping around. He's jumping around. What are we doing?
Well, we're not calling a timeout. That's what they're not doing. And now in this 3rd and 2 play, they get it with White, but tick, tick, tick down.
He's right next to
12 seconds to go. They'll stop it momentarily to move these sticks. This has been a little puzzling. I mean, you have Michigan reeling on the ropes. Whatever you're calling is working. You restart the clock, and this is going to be the final play of the half. Bennett just throws it away, it bounces, and that's it. So a lot went right for Georgia. That was their only empty possession of the half. A little bit puzzling, but domination and a 24-point deficit.
He learned that from Coach Saban. Big lead, he's a tyrant. I mean, he's going to get after it. He's frustrated with the way they work that clock at the end of the half.
Well, he had a timeout, and he didn't take it. If that's Bennett's only mistake, 16 for 22, 235, 2 touchdowns, and some scrambling. Wasn't a perfect first half for Coach Smart. It never is, but darn close to it. Michigan down by 24 here in Miami. Mercedes EQ halftime report coming up after these messages. You're watching the Capital and Orange Bowl on ESPN. Jackson, a sophomore. Thanks, Hallie. They somehow spotted that as first down. No idea how. McNamara escapes pressure, but not for long. He is hammered from behind by Trayvon Walker. We've been talking about him tonight.
He has been everywhere, and again, they keep bringing the pressure. They've been doing it all year. Why stop?
Sounds like what a coach would say, down by 24, but his team faces 3rd and long in the first series, and a catch made. That's Eric All, the big tight end, and it's a first down in midfield. There's a flag down.
Yeah, he's got a free play there. Georgia trying to get a jump there. Looked like Jalen Carter, 88, got a little bit of a quick start, so he had the free play, puts it up where the big tight end
offside,
can make a play on it.
Defense, that penalty is declined, result of the play, first down.
Just like Bowers on the Georgia side, the Michigan team uses their tight ends a lot, but they've been contained tonight.
They have.
Penalty.
I think he felt that it was right in front of him, took the shot there on 3rd down, comes up with it.
21-yard gain. Bobbled snap by McNamara, but Haskins has room, and he barrels for Michigan's best running play tonight. So a positive start to the third quarter. They're down to the Georgia 31.
And again, that's Michigan. That's their gap scheme. They like to pull around the tight end all. They bring around the big center Bastardis. And now he's got a little bit of room to work with. Big pass play, get to the line of scrimmage quickly, try to get Georgia more on their heels instead of them being the aggressor. Michigan there for a couple plays, the aggressor. Here they come.
Certainly showing blitz. A lot of pointing on both sides. McCarthy stands and delivers across the middle, and that's all. He's made 2 big catches on third downs in this drive, and the Wolverines are in the red zone.
Love this call. Delay, eventually get the tight end to block, and then release him. A little bit of a delay. He's matched up there. Nolan Smith, who's not great in coverage, and I love after all catches the ball, gets north and south, has great intentions, catches the ball, he's short of that first down, puts his left foot in the ground, gets north and south, and then gives them a chance here in the red zone, 1st and 10.
McCarthy does his job. Now McNamara back in at quarterback. McNamara launching for the end zone, a jump ball, and it's his second interception from Darian Kendrick. He was looking for Baldwin, he kind of broke it away, and Kendrick says, thank you very much.
You know, Chris, we saw earlier in the first half, Michigan's defensive back, Vincent Gray, stop. Now we see a receiver, Baldwin, stop, doesn't locate the football. He just gave up on the play, and give Kendrick credit. He sees the ball and goes back to his wide receiver days, makes the interception.
Matching his season total with picks, 2 tonight. Dogs have 3rd and 8 here, a 2-back look. Bennett scrambling, chased by Ojabo, heaves it downfield. That was a risky throw. Protecting a big lead is 4th down. He got away with one.
There it is. I mean, that's the head scratcher, right? That's in Bennett. He'll play flawlessly, and then he'll make a play like that. That ball very easily is intercepted, and Michigan will have the ball at about the 30-yard line. Instead, it falls incomplete. But he's got a big lead. Just throw it away, up 27-3 instead. The competitive nature of the kid, he wants to try to always make a play. He's got to be careful.
It looked like even money to be picked off.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first 3 and out for the Dogs tonight. And the first time that we'll see the excellent punter, Jake Camarda, who gets it away. It's a solid kick. Henning driven back to the 24-yard line. He's a very dangerous, speedy returner. Bounces it and gets the edge. You can see why Michigan fans get excited when he gets his hands on the football. Inaccurate throw. Quorum was underneath, but it's been a tough night for Cade McNamara. Pressured often. Nothing has really clicked.
No.
Georgia's done a spectacular job of smothering those guys tonight. Quorum could not, and lost the ball. It's on the ground, and the Bulldogs have it. So 2 interceptions and now a fumble. Devontae Wyatt is on it for Georgia.
Well, there was a hole there. Michigan's only hope is that he was potentially down before the ball came out, but based on his reaction coming off the field, the ball must have come out.
First down.
Look at Dean. Yeah, ball's out right there. Nakobe Dean.
I mean, what else could he do?
Exactly. I mean, the guy, the face of that defense, has made every play tonight.
It's a perfectly placed chop with a hand, right?
And that's not an accident. I mean, they work on that, and he especially pays attention to detail. And you're right. He put that left hand just clubbed right through the football and knocked it loose from Blake Corum.
Wyatt grabs it, and that's back-to-back possessions for Michigan now, ending in a turnover. 26-yard gain negated, so it's 1st and 25. On the perimeter, and Cook had to wait for it, and a nice gain out across the 40.
Daxton Hill timed that up and got his left hand up to try to knock it down. I think he actually got maybe a finger on the ball, but good job by Cook staying focused. Watch 30 at the top. He blitzes, gets that hand up. Yeah, he did. He deflected that football, but there's the athletic ability. Cook nonchalantly is able to stay focused, make a nice play.
So back to 2nd and 11. Kendall Milton is in the backfield. They fake it to him. Now Bennett tried to get it to Bowers, and again knocked down by Dax Hill again.
Cranking the pressure up. Mike McDonald deciding to, based on certain formations down in distance, they're bringing 30 off the edge. Second time he's been able to get to the outside. Can't quite get to Bennett, so instead times that leap perfectly to knock it down.
More frustration after the play. Scuffle quickly broken up, and it's 3rd and 11. Much better from the Wolverines defense lately, but is it far too late? Bennett gets it out. McIntosh weaves his way for a first down. The backs have been dangerous all year, tonight included.
Yeah, great blocks downfield, but you're right, Chris. The tight ends and the running backs have been the catalyst to this offense. And these backs all do something a little bit different. You know, Kenny McIntosh is like a receiver like James Cook. And so you can line him out there in the slot, and he has the running back instincts, obviously, because he's a back. So he is able to set those blocks up and get behind that convoy. Good call there by Todd Monken again.
McIntosh, like Cook from this area, comes from Fort Lauderdale, just up the road. And they pitch it back to White, and Zeus knocked down by Gray, but it's about a 10-yard gain.
So you deal with James Cook, and you got Kenny McIntosh in that backfield, and then they go back to the rock, Zamir White, who's just interested in lowering his shoulder and running through anybody wearing blue. So, man, they're doing a really nice job of just rotating, keeping them fresh, and making this defense have to adjust to a different kind of rhythm from these running backs. Bottom line is, Georgia's getting the ball to their athletes in space and making Michigan have to try to defend them.
Yep, deepest running back room in the country in Georgia. White, it's just like a running play. They get the ball quickly on the edge, and the Wolverines give chase, but another big gain of 9.
Another example of Michigan's defense, you're so concerned about these tight ends. Look at the 2 tight ends on the left, 0 and 19. You got to get guys downfield to deal with them, so what does that do? Stetson Bennett says, no problem. Easy throw into the flat. It's almost like a handoff, and then all that room to run.
And now White barrels for a first down to the 16.
This is why we were all so confused in Atlanta. I mean, this is not Alabama, or this is not Georgia today. This has been Georgia the majority of the season. I mean, we put Kirby Smart and Georgia on a pedestal, and it was like there was Georgia for 12 weeks, and there was everybody else. And to Alabama's credit, they showed up determined, played with a chip on their shoulder, and won the game. But this is not shocking, like, wow, where'd this come from? This is who they've been most of this season.
Yep, this was a dominant, sort of unanimous #1 type team that ran roughshod for 12 games. The performance in Atlanta was the outlier, but it was in a monster game against by far the best team they'd played. So we wondered, would there be a carryover? Did the Tide take a little piece of their heart that night?
Right. No.
The answer.
No. I think they got Washington on a hold here, trying to open up a little bit of room there. But yeah, no, I think they answered the bell. They answered the bell.
Number 0, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still first down.
Critical.
I think Georgia fans right now, I mean, they feel good about 27-3. They're at the 20-yard line. They're already thinking about, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of them thinking about that before. To be honest.
I mean,
Cook runs it in there. Here comes a late flag thrown by referee Campbell.
Yeah, there's been some pushing and shoving. I don't know if they caught that possibly from Taylor Upshaw, 91 or not.
Personal foul, chop block, 69 and 19, high-low combination. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still first down.
That was close. I mean, usually, Bill, you got to be engaged a little bit. And Sawyer, he starts to make the block, and then Bowers submarines the defender off to the far left. See 69, Bill. I guess that's...
It's a chop block.
Okay.
He got it.
I know he went down, but you feel like he was engaged enough?
Yes, he was.
Sawyer was? Okay. Well, they just keep going backwards. Now they're all the way back to the 35.
Yeah, it's the third penalty in the drive for a total of 40 yards. So 1st and 29. Play action. Bennett spins away from pressure and will scoot around the edge, and that's what makes him so frustrating. He is elusive. He's got good speed. He says he needs to trust his speed more. He didn't look this fast against the Crimson Tide, frankly.
No, and that time, big 95 Jeter was chasing him. Of course not, man. Nobody gets compared.
Here's another play where he's on the run on the edge and just throws it away. Typically, when he gets outside the pocket, he's going to run it. He doesn't make that many big throws on the run. Holly?
Well, guys, Stetson Bennett is actually a really sneaky great athlete. When he was in high school, he was the Georgia State Baseball Player of the Year. He actually ran track and field as well in the sprints, even raced against Nicole Hardman at one point and advanced to sectionals. So he's in there because of his feet, his ability to escape, and he's been a good athlete all of his life. I talked to his dad last night, and he said, we might be smaller people, but we're still very athletic people.
Yeah, he's listed at 5'11". That's a bit of an exaggeration. He is not a big dude, but you see his mom right there. He is certainly a good enough athlete to put his team in the championship game. There's a downfield throw from McConkey, just out of his reach, covered by DJ Turner.
The greatest,
22.
Chris, the greatest attribute, you can talk about his legs and why he's been in there all year over JT Daniels, who was a 5-star transfer over from USC. And, a lot of people thought future in the NFL, maybe still has that. But it's his moxie, it's his chip on his shoulder, it's how hard he plays, it's how the more you question him, the harder he's going to come back, not just for a week, but his entire career. And the fact that that's not engulfed him says a lot about how he's wired.
But Lusney will miss this one. It made his first two. That one slides wide left from 46. So a scoreless third quarter so far. The lead still 24. McNamara and the Wolverines back at it here after 3 consecutive turnovers in the last 3 possessions. Georgia hadn't turned any of them into points, but certainly they have killed Michigan's chances of heading into this lead.
Yeah, and when you're down 27-3, you don't have like wide receivers. You've never had to really rely on your receivers to be in obvious passing situations all year. It's tough.
McNamara has the ball knocked free. He got it back to avoid a 4th turnover. Nolan Smith knocked it loose.
Nolan Smith knocks it loose. I felt like that ball was bouncing away from him, and somehow the ball decides to roll back towards him. One of the few breaks that Michigan has caught. There's that pressure again. And then Nolan Smith again, much like Nagobi Dean, knocking that ball away intentionally. You see how it spun back.
First lucky bounce they've gotten tonight, and now McCarthy is in, replacing McNamara on this 3rd and 8 play. Dogs showing blitz. Edwards motions back in. They rush only 4. Ball out over the middle, and the catch is made by all the tight end. He's been really their biggest weapon in the pass game tonight. He's got a first down in Dogs territory.
Well, usually you see a blitz, but instead they drop Nakobe Dean. Watch this throw by McCarthy in between where it looked like Dean was dropping and the other backer, Quay Walker. Nice job, and a nice job of putting that on a line.
Off the bench, delivered a seed, and now a high throw, tried to get it to Wilson, but that's 3 3rd and long completions to all tonight.
Yeah, he is a threat. I remember Jim Harbaugh telling us on a call one time, maybe a year or 2 ago, about what his future might be. J.J. McCarthy is probably the most highly talented Michigan quarterback that they have recruited in years. I mean, maybe go back to Chad Henne.
Big time, 5-star.
And so the expectations, we've seen him run the ball. I think he's a better passer than he is a runner. So he is a legitimate dual threat quarterback that Michigan has in their future.
McCarthy sprints away from late pressure, gets on the edge, and runs smack in to Quay Walker.
That was a big-time play by Quay Walker. Again, 6'4", 240 out in space. And Chris, he's being blocked, kind of boxed out, not blocked, by the tight end, Eric All. And then All doesn't realize that Quay Walker's getting off of him. And then how about the suddenness by 7? What a play.
Admire McCarthy's toughness, but young man, avoid hits like that from linebackers like Quay Walker. End of 3 in Miami. Watching the Capital and Orange Bowl on ESPN, 27-3 Dogs. spins away from pressure, chased, and just before crossing the line, launches it incomplete and out of bounds. See the athleticism to escape the rush, but it's 4th and 6 now.
Yeah, that pressure got on him in a hurry, but he's able to keep that alive. I mean, Michigan knew that these backers would be coming after him, and they knew that they had to have a plan for it, especially on 3rd down. And expecting it is one thing, dealing with it in reality is another. McCarthy doing a heck of a job, Chris, here, just to keep it alive, keep the play alive, but no chance downfield.
Needs 6 yards to keep the drive alive. Edwards split out to the right as a cushion. McCarthy looking to the left and delivers a throw over the head of Sanderstill. Would have been a tough, tricky throw. Couldn't make it, and a turnover on downs.
It puts the Michigan offense in a very uncomfortable position the entire night.
Play action on 3rd down. Bennett eludes the pressure and tries to scamper for a first down and weaves his way past the marker into Wolverine territory.
Chris Hinton, the big defensive tackle, got in there. It wasn't Aiden Hutchison, it was 15. The only problem with that is that's where Stetson Bennett can do what he can do. I mean, it's a free pass. You're right in there, 15, right in the middle of this defense. Stetson Bennett looking right. All of a sudden he sees him. It's 3rd down. Keep that in mind. 3rd down. There's nothing worse than a defense. They do it right, just the way it's drawn up, and the quarterback with his legs makes you pay for it and moves the sticks.
Hinton, one of 3 Georgia natives who start for Michigan. He would know all about Bennett from their days as high school players. Now it's White who's fresh, and he comes back, just barrels forward for another big first down gain.
I was just about to say it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
3rd down, the way this game has gone, you do it right, and then he scrambles for the first, and then look at the next play. They get pounded for about 5 or 6 yards.
Your point was great. Neither team is used to being behind in games this year. Michigan basically front running, had a big lead against Michigan State in their only loss. Georgia bullying people until Alabama started throwing haymakers back after the Dogs led 10-0, remember?
Right. Yeah.
Did not respond. You're right.
Out of their comfort zone.
We'll have another chance, it appears.
Yes.
Play clock at 2. They use all of it. And White knocked down about 1.5 yards short of the marker.
We should start maybe peeking down the road a little bit about that rematch. I mean, we're going to respect this game, obviously, but the idea of Kirby Smart, so many storylines going up against Nick Saban, Georgia being so dominant all year, losing in the SEC championship, and as you said, Nakobe Dean telling us, hey, something about getting a second chance, and that's what we have, and we have to take advantage of it. There's just a lot there.
Absolutely. Physically and mentally, psychologically. On this 3rd and short play, Dogs need 1. Bennett looking to throw for it under pressure. Hammered, but he lofts it out to Cook, who collects it and sprints for a touchdown. What a homecoming night for James Cook. His first game back in Miami, he's done a lot, and now he scored a touchdown from 39 yards out.
And they got him one-on-one again, and the linebacker, Junior Colson, draws a short straw to have to try to match up with him. He's going to release down here. Colson just on the outside trying to match up man-to-man with him. And watch the job that Mitchell does, walling off a defender just to be safe, kind of boxing him out, not letting the other backer, Ross, catch up to him. What a well-designed play to get Cook matched up again against the backer for the touchdown.
Now Cook came in inspired, eager to duplicate what his brother Dalvin did here against Wolverines, and he has done that. 34-3. Certainly at the beginning of the season, it was a question. We knew the front 7 was great. They had to replace 4 secondary starters to the NFL.
Yeah.
And swarming in there for the sack is Trayvon Walker. I think he had him in the grass, but he suddenly got free as a flag at the end of the play.
Yeah, he got out of there.
McCarthy got loose. Walker thought he had him.
Yeah,
I did too.
And I think Georgia's defense was with you. I mean, they the guys that weren't in man coverage kind of pulled up there, but there was definitely a block by Michigan that's going to get the attention of the officials as he was stepping out of bounds. I think it was Blake Corum hitting Danny Jackson, or Dan Jackson. That's Dan Jackson right there that took the hit.
McCarthy did well to escape.
The result of the play was a line gain was made. After the play was over, personal foul, illegal blindside block. Number 2, offense, 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. It'll still be 1st and 10.
It's a result of that frustration. It's been very, very disappointing night for Corum, and he just takes it out on Jackson. You cannot do that.
No, but going back to the play, you know, Walker, who is a big man, he had McCarthy wrapped up. I mean, he's down, right? And McCarthy didn't give up on it. The reason he had all that room after he got out of there is Georgia's in man coverage. So he's got all this room to work with Georgia's defense with their backs to him. Got to be careful playing man-to-man against a quarterback like McCarthy because he can take off and go.
And 1st and 10 from the pocket. No, now he'll dart free. He didn't slide. He's taking another big shot tonight. That was Quay Walker again. But a positive play for the freshman.
And this is where I think an example of an area that he has a chance to grow. He's going to have a route coming in, and he kind of gives up on it. Right here. He's got a backer, chance to go over top of it, just kind of pulled off of it a little bit too early.
Bounces that pass to Anthony.
Because with his skill set, it opens up the playbook so much more.
3rd and 10. McCarthy launches, and a diving catch as a flag comes up by Donovan Edwards, who got deep. Kind of a lighter package. They bring pressure. McCarthy on the move, trying to make something happen with his legs. Now just fires into heavy traffic. It bounced off the hands of Wilson, and all had a chance to make a play, but it's 4th down.
McCarthy trying to wait to the last possible second, using every ounce of his athletic ability to keep that play alive. But there's the Kobe Dean maybe cramping. But the pride of the Georgia defense is on the line right now. Right? I mean, they've won the game. The Kobe Dean, they're blitzing and eventually gets to McCarthy. Walker gets in there as well. But you gotta love to see these. There's a hold he can get away with, but you gotta love to see both these teams competing with this game well out of reach. To try to become a more complete linebacker, and obviously it's paid off.
And they find the end zone on 4th down. Edwards takes the backwards pass, and nowhere to run. It was Dan Jackson there making a play, and there's some jawing going on as once again the Wolverines turn it over on downs and are kept out of the end zone. 7 minutes to play. Allie, what do you have?
So guys, talking of New Year's resolutions, think about the resolution that this little boy made. Stetson Bennett's parents both graduated from Georgia. He's gone to hundreds of games there as a fan. When he was 3 years old, he told his dad, I'm going to be the quarterback at Georgia. Now, the odds on that were a long shot. He's always been undersized, but this kid has believed in himself. And after the last time they were in the playoff, when he was Baker Mayfield on that scout team, he told his dad, I want to go play. He did. He went to a small community college. He tore it up. He said, one morning I woke up on signing day and I had 4 missed calls from Kirby Smart. Now here he is.
But Holly, this wasn't an automatic decision.
No,
he didn't think with his heart as much as it meant. He did his homework.
Holly, he was going to go to Louisiana. He's like, hey, if you're going to hold a scholarship, like, let me think about this.
Yeah.
It wasn't, what? A scholarship? I'm in. He's like, really? Huh. Let me.
It took a few hours.
Let me consider my options here. And then eventually he came back.
He didn't wait too long. He did call him back after a few hours.
Oh, by the way, they brought in other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
You bring in J.T. Daniels, Dwan Mathis, who was a 5-star, came in.
Yeah, he knew Fields was leaving, but that wasn't the end of it. He had to beat out some talented players. Camarda hadn't had to do much tonight. Stands at his goal line and not his best effort. Rolls dead at the 49-yard line. Part of our 4 games in 11 nights, which is a blast. Corum takes a huge shot, and the ball is knocked loose by Chaz Chambliss. Wow. Backups are in the game, but still playing hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the end of the line of scrimmage, drifts out into the flat, has his tats out there on that right arm. And, you know, he means business. He brings the hammer there.
Corum got tattooed. And the quarterback says, that's on me. I put you in a tough spot.
I think he thought it was man-to-man, but instead,
the previous play,
Chambliss just dropped.
Further review.
They're going to review this for targeting, perhaps, Bill Lamont. Yeah, they've stopped to look at it. I can't imagine what else they'd look at.
Yeah, he did dip his head down, so they're going to have to look now to see did he keep it down.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess you have to take a look at that these days, right, Bill? And that looked like a great hit.
Targeting.
And it was Christopher Smith in the first half, but again, he will not miss any of the championship game. That would not be the case for Chambliss, backup player.
That right shoulder.
Yeah, because when you dip the head, you use the crown.
Yeah.
It does. You don't have to hit him in the head. You hit him in the body.
Yeah, of course, and that's for the defender. You know,
he runs the risk of a neck injury.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying he's got to get that head on the side of the body and use that right shoulder. But man, just gets it. I think that might have been one of his first plays.
Yeah. Yeah, had been the starters in there until that.
Yeah.
This current series. Here's Scott Campbell's
verdict.
verdict.
The play is an incomplete pass, personal foul, targeting, defense, using the crown of the helmet, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Chambliss very much a role player, won't be able to participate in the first half of the championship game, and you're right, he hadn't had many chances to make a play. That big red mark from the helmet on the forehead.
You imagine Chuck Cecil and Steve Atwater and those boys playing in the game today. They used to lead SportsCenter, that hit. Now it's, and I get it. I'm just saying, now it's 15.
Carthy has a man wide open, and it's caught by Andrell Anthony, freshman to freshman, and finally, Wolverines find the end zone tonight. McCarthy's shown something and coming in a lost cause here. 35-yard touchdown.
Well, that'll drive Kirby Smart crazy. They brought a blitz, and the safety ends up getting out of position, but give Michigan credit for still fighting and coming up with their first touchdown of the night.
David Daniel, the guy that came in there, number 14. We haven't seen him much tonight, and they won't make it easy on him when they break down the tape of this game. Wolverines going for 2 here. Does the book say when you're down 35, you go for 2? Has some trickery. Henning on the end around, and he scores. Corum out there block. It was a good-looking 2-point play for the Wolverines. We'll check the touchdown pass to Anthony first.
Watch the corner come on the pressure. Now you've got a one-on-one matchup with the receiver against the safety. Anthony goes by him, little stutter and go. Like the corner there, Lassiter brought the heat. But just David Daniel kind of looked like he just got lost in space. Looked like he guessed maybe thought he had help behind. I don't know. But a mistake, and give Michigan credit. They take advantage of it, go for 2.
But it's been lots of misery and heartbreak inflicted on Georgia by Alabama. Not just that game. And busting loose. It's a big run for Elijah Edwards, the 5th tailback to carry the ball tonight. I said it's a deep running back room. This guy could play for a lot of people, Edwards.
Well, not only that, you got backup offensive linemen, some of these linemen getting a chance, but that was great vision that time and patience for a guy that's been over there on the sideline just watching the game. Steps right in and instinctively just says, yeah, I'll come in here and carry the rock. 2 most important games.
McConkey on the end around, lowers his head, lost the ball but was down before fumbling. I'll watch with one eye open on the pillow.
Appreciate that. All right.
Well, there's Edwards. He's going to fight hard. I said tackle for a loss, but no, he makes a positive play out of it inside of 2 minutes to go here.
Love this guy. Well, if you're going to get a chance to come in and play, take advantage of it, right?
So you got a couple extra days of preparation. Here it is Friday night. Of course, the championship game a week from Monday. A lot of familiarity. I imagine they do a lot of self-scouting, look at what they've done and try to figure out what the other side's going to do differently for round two.
They're going to be very, very familiar with each other. It's not like you're matching up with somebody like tonight from a different conference. They know each other, you know, from working together, but just studying so much film with each other this year.
And Bill O'Brien, who calls the place, of course, for the Crimson Tide, basically just ignored the running game, didn't try except maybe to keep Georgia honest a little bit, but it was all about Bryce Young pitching it around. You wonder, will that be the game plan? Mechie's not there. They found a running game today.
And Chris, the other thing is the offensive line from Bama has had some issues most of this year, but that day against this defense, they played their best. They took care of Bryce Young, so that'll be a fun matchup too to see how does Kirby and Dan Lanning dial up a defense to try to affect Bryce Young and affect that offensive line of Alabama.
Kirby waved the finger. He says, I don't want a Gatorade bath. Don't you do it. It's a semifinal game. He's very concerned. He's going to call it a timeout with 15 seconds. I don't think he wants to get wet at this point.
What's he up to over there? He's
Holly, what do you got down there?
Well, Kirby Smart just got after his team and said, we're not doing that. We're not doing Gatorade baths after this game. We've got another game to worry about. We're not worried about this. Yep. We're going to look ahead. He just got on his guys.
Yeah, you're all over it, Holly. Yeah, he was not having it.
He's done that in the past, and he's dead serious.
Yeah.
Like, he's not being fun. Like, it's not happening. The Gatorade bath will not be happening.
You want to play in Indy.
Yeah.
Do not dunk that on.
We're not celebrating this.
Yeah, CL and Indy, they had that ready. Yeah, the temptation was for this Georgia fan base that had a lot of swag when they don't play Alabama, was that this was just a kind of a road bump, a speed bump. Get over this one. And you wondered if Georgia's players were feeling that. Did not look like it. They came in completely focused, spectacularly prepared, and executed really brilliantly from the start on both sides. Bennett going the whole distance. No kneel down. They hand it off to Kendall Milton. Well, to paraphrase the classic song penned by Willie Nelson, Georgia the whole night through, manhandling Michigan, dominating them from start to finish, and booking that revenge tour matchup, they hope, with Alabama and Indy. For Michigan, they deflate again to a superb season for Jim Harbaugh. Aiden Hutchinson off the Sunday stardom along with so many of these Michigan veterans on defense. 97 didn't get near 13 except the post-game handshake.
That's it. Georgia had a heck of a plan for not just Aiden Hutchinson, but for this Michigan defense. Keep saying Todd Monken's name, but he put it together. Threw for 332, ran for close to 200. Balanced attack, and again, Trayvon Walker in the defense all over the Wolverines offense. Domination, 14 points in the first quarter, and they didn't look back.
521 total yards. Dogs, emphatically, book a ticket to the championship game against Alabama. Tonight's game, produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Appreciation for our entire crew here in South Florida. Back with much more. Time now for the Ram Trucks postgame show.